How much money did I make selling books on Amazon KDP in February? Let's take a look. So another month and another income report video. Let's get straight into it and see what February was like for me. First off, the goals that I set myself for the month. I wanted to publish 3 books. That's down from my usual goal of 4, 5 or 6 books. And that's because I'm focusing on higher quality content now. I wanted to hit 1,500 book orders, which was just a target I was setting myself, because that would let me get to around $2,500 in monthly profit. Now, did I achieve those goals? I did publish 3 books, but I didn't quite hit the other targets. Looking at what I got up to for the month, I published 4 books on Amazon. So as mentioned, I'm focusing on high quality books. There's still medium content and a few low content, but they're of a higher quality. They take longer to make. But the hope is that over the long term, they'll sell better. So I published 2 activity books. I then did a foreign language version of one of my best selling books. And then I published 1 low content journal as well. Over here on YouTube, I published 6 videos and got a little over 66,000 views. Thank you for coming back and supporting the channel. It means a ton to me. And then over on Etsy, I made 1 pre-made book cover and I delivered 1 custom cover design as well. So this income report video focuses on Amazon KDP, but this just gives you a little bit of an overview of all the things that I'm up to. So I've got my Amazon KDP shop, I've got my YouTube channel, and I also have my Etsy shop as well. But onto what you want to know, which is how many book sales did I make in February? I sold 1,476 books. If you're a regular to these type of videos, you'll be used to this type of chart by now. It's pretty consistent throughout the month. And perhaps unlike some other YouTubers out there, I didn't really see a rise for Valentine's Day. I don't really have that much Valentine's Day specific type of content out there. And so the month was pretty flat for me. But on the flip side, that's positive. That means that hopefully March will be consistent in April and every single month moving forward. And what's great to see, if you just take a little step back and look at the growth over time, on this chart I've removed November and December orders because they are always a big spike. So if I've removed those kind of bigger spikes, you can see the natural rise month by month. And so in February, it's very similar to January, but comparing it back to last year and the year before that, you can see the rise in orders over time. In terms of where I sold my books, the majority were the United States, although I do sell quite a lot in the UK and I'm now building my presence in Canada as well. The rest are just a few trickling along in other countries. Now on to how much money I made on Amazon KDP. So in February, I made $3,097. For my Brits out there, that's around £2,442. This chart here reflects the orders pretty much bang on. So there's that small drop on the 8th of February, but other than that, it's very steady throughout the month. Now, if you're a regular to the channel, you know I'm super transparent with you. I like to share all of my figures and be transparent and set realistic expectations. So that income there doesn't include my ads and expenses. So we're going to go into the ad spend now. This is how much I spent across all of my ads in February. So you can see there, I spent $722, but I did receive 364 orders at around a 20% ACOS. And so that ACOS is really important. You want to have that as low as possible while having your orders as high as possible. And so for me to have my ACOS down to around 20%, I think that's very good going. Especially when you launch a book, your ACOS tends to be a lot higher. So to be able to pull that down on a lot of my ads is really promising. Breaking it down, if you want to pause this, feel free to take a closer look, but I'm just going to run through this quite quickly. So I spent $321 on ads in the USA, £260 in the UK, $77 in Canada, $12 in Australia, and then €11 in Germany. So they're all pretty steady and pretty consistent. The only thing to mention is I've not got any orders yet through ads in Germany, so hopefully that will come in March. Breaking down the performance of my ads, I had 2,767 clicks, spent $722, got 364 orders through ads, and that meant that it was taking me around 7.6 clicks to get an order. That's a great figure to know, because not only does it allow me to set expectations around my kind of ad spend when I'm launching a new book, it also allows me to, compare performance. So if I've got a new ad out there and I'm getting a sale every 15 clicks, I know it's not performing as well as the majority of my books, so maybe that's one that I could turn off. And that's at an average cost per click of 26 cents. So that's across all of my different marketplaces. That's obviously going to depend on the type of niches you're publishing in, the types of books you're creating. But hopefully it's helpful for you to see what I'm doing. That means that on ads, it's costing me around $1.98 to get a sale through my advertising campaigns. Why I like to track that figure is just making sure that's not going too high. And so that when I'm publishing a new book, I know that if I can get a royalty of $2, that I'm going to be breaking even. Now, I just wanted to share with you a few screenshots of some new ads that I launched this month. So first of all, this is a new book that I've launched, and this is a fantastic example of what a good ad launch looks like. So I've spent quite a lot on this ad, $137, but I've generated 267 clicks and got 46 orders. That's around an order every 5 clicks, so that's better than my average. And even though my cost per click is higher here than the average, it's because I'm launching it, I'm being a bit more aggressive with my ads, but it's performed extremely well. And that's going to help this book to rank organically in the future as well. So the last one looked at what a good launch looks like on ads. This one, it's not necessarily a bad launch. It's just not got as much interest. And so therefore, I've not got anywhere near as many clicks, but the conversion rate is still fantastic. The cost per click is similar, but I've only spent $22 because there's not as much volume to this type of book. Now for me, luckily that means there's not as much competition out there for this book, but it also means that organically I'm not going to make much money every month. This book might only make me $20 a month, whereas the previous book might make me $100, $200 a month. And then next I'm going to show you an example of what a bad launch looks like. So this one I've spent $117, but I've only got 19 orders. So you can see there from 158 clicks, I got 19 orders. That's maybe around 8.5 clicks per order, slightly above my average. But because it's in a competitive niche, the cost per click has to be a lot higher. And as you can see at the beginning, it wasn't serving that well. I wasn't getting that many clicks. And so I had to dial my ad spend up. And then recently, towards the end of the month, the spend's gone up, the clicks have gone up, and the orders have gone up. But that average cost per click there is quite high. So for me to get a sale on this book, it's costing me maybe $5 to get a sale. And I'm only getting $2 back in royalty. So this is one for me to monitor moving forward, to think of whether it's worthwhile to keep this ad on or whether I turn this one off. But taking a look at my profit for the month after we've gone through all the ad spend, my income was $3,097. My ad spend was $722. My expenses was my Midjourney account and my Adobe subscription, which is around $70, which means my take-home profit for February was $2,305. That's approximately £1,833. So another very solid month on Amazon KDP. And if you can tell, I'm focusing on building towards the long term. I'm chipping away, I'm reinvesting my income into my ads, into my book covers, into my Adobe software, all those kind of things. I'm treating it like a full-time business. And the idea is it's going to continue to grow over time and get to higher and higher levels. Well, that's the hope. Is it going to happen? You're going to have to stay tuned to find out. Taking a look at what I learned from February, it's a shorter month. There's only 28 days compared to January where there was 31. So the orders and the profit were always going to be a little bit lower. And unfortunately, so far for me, the foreign language translation book that I've launched hasn't got any sales. I'll keep trying with that. Maybe I need to target some different keywords out there. And I do hope that I can increase my sales over in Germany and France and everything. But at the moment, it's not looking too promising. Towards the end of the month especially, I increased my ad spend and my ACOS began to rise. But that's okay because sometimes you need to be a bit more aggressive with your ads to launch your books effectively. But the overall take home is that sales are up year on year. And if I compare my stats and my data and my figures to last February, I've seen a 71% increase in sales and an 88% increase in profit. So that's amazing. That shows growth. That's exactly what I'm trying to do with this business. Looking at my wrap up and learnings for the month. As I mentioned, February can be a little bit frustrating. It's a shorter month. It continues on from the lull of January after that big Q4 boom. But my main piece of advice is just to keep going. Keep at it, keep building, keep hustling, and you'll reap the rewards in the end. One thing that I always do is I zoom out. So you might be quite near the beginning of your Amazon KDP journey where you can't really do this. But I love tracking my data so that I can zoom out and look at my monthly growth, look at my year-on-year growth, because it's so helpful to know that, what you're doing over the longer term is really working. So make sure you track your data, even if it's just your orders and your profit every month, because zooming out can help you see, that everything is going in the right direction. And then if it's not quite going in the right direction for you, then you can maybe start looking at what you could improve on, any learnings that you need to take, all those kind of things. As you saw from those ads, some books will launch well, others not quite as well. I've had some failed launches as well, and sometimes you just have to chalk a book up to be a loss. Sometimes the book just won't launch effectively, but that's okay. That's why it's important to keep on creating high quality books, launch them using ads, and some of them will stick and rank organically for really good search terms. Other ones you'll spend some money on, maybe they get a few sales, but then they'll drop down the search terms. We want to be focusing on creating more and more of those ones that are going to sticky towards the top of Amazon and continue to generate ongoing sales. Looking at my goals for March, I want to publish 3 high quality books again. As mentioned, I'm focusing on the higher quality books that take a little bit longer to make. I want to get 1,500 book sales, hit that $2,500 in monthly profit, and just keep on hustling, keep on grinding, and keep on going with my Amazon KDP journey. So that's it for February, quite a straightforward one this month, but I hope that this data and some of the insights that I've shared were helpful for you. Let me know how your February went down in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.